Hello and welcome to the next video of my LEC 2024 preview series where we're going to cover Rogue, a team that, if you recall, was around a couple years ago, then rebranded to Koi, and now have went back to Rogue as the Koi management left the team. So it went to Worlds 3 years in a row. Koi took over, didn't go to Worlds, and now Rogue is back. So in 2021, 27-9 domestically in the regular season, 25-11 in 2022. Technically, last year as Koi, they went 12-15. Average age of the roster going into this season is 21.6 years old. There are a couple changes from the 2023 team. Malrang and Advian both are gone, and they've brought in Marcoon from SK and Zoli's from Zoli from, honestly, it's like LDLC, OC, or whatever the team is. So they're bringing a rookie in the support position, a very good facilitating jungler to replace Malrang. So we'll start with Sisgenda in top lane, 22 years old, 51 games played last year, and mixed bag. So 2-2 KDA, 8-1 CS per minute. 57.3 KP, so more involved than your average top laner, so he gives up a bit of farm, but he died a lot. It was kind of like flipping a coin up there, whether Sisgenda was going to come through or not. 22% of the team's gold, 502 damage per minute, 23.4 damage share. That's a lot of damage and a lot of gold being invested into the top lane, and you'll see that with this champion pool, why that occurred. On average, now somebody in the Carmine video described clapping in lane. So to me, clapping in lane is being up 13 CS on average at 15 minutes. I would say that top laner is significantly ahead of the person across from them, in which case Sisgenda did that, in addition to 235 gold and 210 XP ahead. Really gapping top laners in the LEC in the first 15 minutes. 16 solo kills, 14 champions played. Nar, Kesante, and Jace accounting for 57% of his champion pool in terms of games played. Jace being up there should be indicative of the type of player we're talking about. Marcoon in the jungle, 21 years old. I always reference his debut with Excel and how he played Volibear and how interesting he was, finding angles and things like that, showing great aggression. With the new map and things like this, Marcoon is a player that I'm actually looking at as somebody who could get this team going in spring and winter, before really everyone else is figuring things out. I think Marcoon's one of the more creative junglers in the West. 52 games, 2-2 KDA, 4-8 CS per minute, 70 KP, and that kind of goes to show you. Very creative, but not getting ahead in the CS department. He is a pure facilitator. Marcoon should not be trying to carry for you. If that's the case, you're in a bad spot. 18.2 gold share, 312 damage per minute, 14.8 damage share, and on average is behind LEC junglers, 170 gold, 7 CS, 120 XP, 9 solo kills, 13 champions played. Sejuani, Vi, Maokai being his 3 most played, 54% of his games. Like I said, truly, if he is carrying your team, if he's leading you in damage, if you're trying to invest in him to get ahead of the enemy jungler and then sacking another lane otherwise, that's not what Marcoon's done pretty much his entire career at the LEC level. Does that mean he can't do it? Not necessarily. It just means it hasn't been done yet. And when things haven't been done yet, we just can only, assume what would happen or why it hasn't happened yet. In mid lane, you have Larson at 23 years old, one of the more consistent mids in the LEC, definitely top 3 to 4 split after split. 51 games played, 3-2 KDA, 8-5 CS per minute, 63.1 KP. These numbers very average for him. 22.7 gold share, 566 damage per minute, which is 26.4% of damage. Kind of goes to show you, right? The top lane and mid lane very close in DPM. On average, up 265 gold, 4 CS, 275 XP. Only 6 solo kills, so not very aggressive. 18 champions played. Azir, Silas, Tristana being his most played, so those 3 very different, right? Silas more of a bruiser. Azir, of course, being a poke champion, a late game scaler. And then you have DiStefano, who's just going to take your turret if you ever leave your lane. They account for 43% of his games. 80 carry, we have Comp. So Comp at 22 years old last year without Trimby, I thought he looked lost. You know, I was saying that I felt Trimby was more of that bot lane, and I think it came to fruition last year. We'll see if Comp can figure it out with Zoli. But as of right now, Comp has some work to do. So 22 years old, 51 games played, 3.7 KDA, 9.9 CS per minute, only 61.3 KP. So, like I said, when your jungle is a facilitator in the early game like Malrang was, you're not going to always be involved because he's going to be trying to create elsewhere. And in the case of Comp and Trimby and Comp and Advian, that occurred. So, didn't get a lot of farm, though, on the offset. 24.9% of the team's gold, 600 damage per minute, 27.5% of damage, so biggest damage dealer. At 15 minutes on average, he was down 55 gold, 1 CS, but up 55 XP, so as far as I'm concerned, he went even in the first 15 minutes. 3 solo kills, 13 champions played. Zeri, Sivir, and Lucian being his 3 most played at 47%. Not a lot of people. Zeri leading the way, and I don't think anyone else's Sivir is one of their most played. So definitely an odd champion pool there. And then we have Zoli, 20 years old, one of the better rookie supports this year across all 4 major regions. Somebody that, at least statistically, looks like he's not going to be out of place. Somebody that I'm excited to watch. In 54 games, had a 3.5 KDA, 78% KP. Very involved. Will be active alongside Marcoon on this team. 212 damage per minute. And then the vision score. So I looked at his champion pool. There's no Ashe. There's actually really no 80 carry games in there. So for his vision score and ward usage to be the way it is, kind of goes to show you how good this player is. 314 vision score per minute, placing only 7 wards every 5 minutes and 2 control wards every 5 minutes, clearing 1 ward every other minute. So his vision is very effective. He's not using a ton of it, but yet revealing enemies, revealing enemy wards, and clearing more wards than he's actually putting down in the control ward department. A very efficient support. 15 champions played. Rakan, Renata, and Heimerdinger being his most played champions, and they account for 43%. I think this is a player that's going to be real interesting to watch this year. This team actually, off the rip, if Marcoon can find angles and Zoli looks good, this team could actually be very competitive in the early part of the season. Freddy122 is the coach. He's been the coach for some time now. 110 and 97 in the regular season over his career, 45 and 59 in individual games in the playoffs and regional finals, and then 8 and 16 in his career at international events. He's went to Worlds 3 times with Rogue in 20, 21, and 22. So, like I said about Mad Lions, one of the better run organizations, the LEC, Rogue is right there, very consistent. Do they end up going deep at Worlds? Actually, yeah, in 2022, they got out of group stage. So something that people kind of forget, that Rogue were that competitive. Now, they played JDG, and JDG were a buzzsaw, just like they were this year. They're pretty much a buzzsaw in 2022. So what are you going to do at that point? I mean, you're just kind of, let's just play the game and see what happens. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.